We are ready when you are, Coach.
All right. Oh, it's great to be 4-1. Proud of the fight in our team and resiliency. I think shot ourselves in the foot penalty-wise in the first half and made it really hard. Settled in. The defense in the second half was outstanding. Losing both our starting safeties, one to the ejection and the other to an injury. So proud of Isaac Duffy Webb, walk-on safety from Clayton High School that's earned a scholarship here. The way he came in, he didn't just play, he played well. And Devin Boykin coming in and breaking up a pass in the end zone at the end. And just guys being resilient. Peyton obviously stood out, Jalen Scott, the takeaways on defense. Offensively, we didn't have a great game. Turned the ball over twice. Thought we were physical in the second half in particular, especially in the fourth quarter. I thought our run game picked up towards the end of the game, did some nice things. We made some tough catches. Thayer's catch was unbelievable in the end zone. And Bailey stepped in and did some things well and didn't do some things well. So be a great opportunity for him. Probably won't have Devin for a while. I don't know the exact injury, lower leg injury, but doesn't look like we'll have him for a while. And once I know, probably Monday, I'll be able to give you the specifics. But he's a tough kid and hate it, for him just to get injured like that, because I know how much this game means to him, this team means to him. So next man up, and Bailey and Ben Finley and Ty Evans will have to get ready to roll for us at quarterback. But it was a great comeback win, and guys just kept responding. I think the block punt for a touchdown by Levi Jones and Max Fisher was a huge play in the game. And, gave Duke credit. They had a good game plan. They attacked us and did some things early in the game that got us behind. So any questions?
Bridget, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. What was it like? You just touched on it a little bit, for you to see Devin go down the way he did after everything he's been through this season. And then also for him to come back on the sidelines with his crutches and want to be there for his teammates. What does that say about him?
Yeah, well, he loves his teammates. He's a great young man. I feel for him. He's worked really hard and he's playing really well. So, I thought he got concussed. When I saw the targeting hit, I thought he was concussed. And when I went down there, it was his ankle that he was worried about. So, I have to do the x-rays and all those kind of things to figure out what it is. But I knew he'd be back on the field if he could be to watch, because that's what he said, tell these guys to finish. And he's got a lot of guts. He's a tough young man.
Mike Toper.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. Not to belabor the point, but I was wondering if by chance you could just share what you said to Devin when he was down there for a while before they took him out.
I was just trying to comfort him. Usually when you get down there, you're just trying to figure out what's wrong. And I thought he was out, like I said. So I was trying to get out there to see if he was awake. And he was wide awake. He was very alert. He just said, I can't, my ankle's bothering me, and he was breathing and, just say, relax, take a deep breath. Doctors will be with you, and just try to get him calmed down so that they can get a good evaluation on him. But he was very coherent, very, understanding what was going on, and just, started talking about his teammates at that point.
Friedlander.
Yeah, Dave, this is the third straight week now you've had a player ejected at a position that you're really thin at to start with. And the third different guy who has stepped up and really gotten the job done. What does it say about the depth that you have back there? And as a coach, how proud does that make you? You say next man up, but to actually see that in action.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we got to learn how to tackle with our head, not being involved in it. And it's hard, when a player is going down, the elevation changes on a runner sometimes. And as a defender, you've already launched at a certain level, and then you end up not hitting them where you thought you were going to hit them. That's a hard play. But we got to really get better there. As far as stepping up, I couldn't be prouder. It was Rock, Ashford early in the season. Then it was Devin Boykin, and now it's Duffy Webb. And then you saw Pierre Lewis do it. It's just like a revolving door back there. But they're getting results, and that's a credit to Coach Gibson and the defensive staff, and Coach DeForest is Coach Autry Lindsay. Those guys have had to play a lot of guys, but Duff was ready, and you got to give that young man a lot of credit.
And then this is the second week in a row Vi Jones has blocked a punt. Was this the same situation as last week, or was this one a different one? He has a knack for getting there.
He does have a knack for blocking punts, but this was a called block. Last week was a return, and he was just the guy forcing the punt. This week was a called block punt, and Coach Goebel had a good scheme. Delbert Mims, kind of was working up the field to keep their guy from getting down on Levi, and Levi took a good angle and made a play, and it's great to see Max. Max Fisher's a guy that plays receiver. We moved to safety because of our injuries there, so he's a guy that's been selfless. Probably would be getting playing time on offense, and he's had to learn how to play our defense the last 2 weeks. So it was great to see him get rewarded with that touchdown.
Thank you, David.
You bet.
Jonas Pope.
Coach, you guys going to halftime now. Well, you're going to halftime, and you talk to the group. Did you kind of look in their eyes and kind of get the feel that once they cut back on the mistakes and the self-inflicted stuff, that they could come back and do what they need to do to get the win?
Yeah. It wasn't a real rah-rah talk in there. It was very matter of fact. Like, hey, we got 8 penalties for 106 yards. They got 1 for 10. They've blocked the punt for a touchdown. We've blocked the punt for a touchdown. The difference is us beating us. If you guys would just play football and quit being idiots, we're going to win. And you got to own it and be a man and step up and start playing the way you're coached. And they did. So, we're a young football team. I saw a stat the other day that 66% of our snaps are by freshmen or redshirt freshmen or sophomores. So, we got to be able to be a little more mature, even though we're young, in what we're doing on the field. And it got fixed in the second half. So it'll be a learning, teachable moment tomorrow.
And when guys find a way to win in different ways, all your wins have come in different kind of ways, but to come back, how much does that help this team in the long run?
Yeah, I think our confidence is really high. I think we handle adversity well. There isn't any flinch. Guys understand that they can come back, and they've done that in multiple ways, as you mentioned. So it's a very confident group. I know they'll be excited for what's coming up this week against another in-state opponent. But we need to get healthy. That's my concern right now. We got a lot of guys beat up.
Andrew Schnittiger.
Dave, you touched on the run game getting better in the fourth quarter, but how big is it to have guys like Bam and Ricky who can hit those big, tough runs late in the game when you need it, when you're trying to pick up yardage and move the chains and kill the clock?
Yeah, it's critical to be able to stay on the field and finish a game like that. And those kids are hungry, They're hungry. I think that running back room has a lot of character. I think they're competing, cheering for each other, but competing against each other and want to outdo each other in the game. And they want the ball, they want that football. And I think our offensive line, it takes a lot of pride in how hard they run. So it's a good group. I think Jordan gets left out of that group, but Jordan does some good things for us too there. And we missed Trent Penix tonight. Trent's a guy that's been coming on in practice. So, it's another back.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Ricky Person's going to join us now.